Hey everyone, this is Rajeshri with Sarthak and we are here to cover the third edition of Walking Bookfairs. This is the place where stories and authors come together and travel together.
I have no idea. I am just here to enjoy what is Walking Book Fair. So stay tuned and let's find out. We boarded the Walking Book Fair bus and the journey began itself inside. The inauguration was done by the renowned writer Jerry Pinto. His words were simple and thoughtful. After getting off the bus, we stepped into the past with the segment titled Walking Through History. The heritage walk at Udayagiri Caves was guided by none other than Sophia Simon. She beautifully described the surroundings, blending history with stories that felt alive. Her narration was insightful, turning stone carvings into lessons from the past. Along with the rich history, the scenic view added calm and charm to the experience.
You know, what I've found across India is that the smaller independent bookstores are the ones that keep the cultural tradition alive in terms of the writing and the authors and the literature. And there is no one better than Shatabdi and Akshaya, in Walking Book Fair. And these guys are literally an institution in Bhubaneswar. And now, people like us have heard about them, from all over India, and we're coming because we want to be part of this, that energy, the vibe, and what they're up to. And
With memories from Udayagiri, we moved ahead to the next destination with the flavors of the Middle East inside the bus. Right now, we had great food, something that I haven't had before. I haven't had falafel before. So, tell us more about Genovia's kitchen.
Okay, so we started Zetobia's kitchen just like that. We had absolutely no idea how to run a business. He knew how to cook, and we didn't even have a billing machine. We had nothing, absolutely nothing. We just started it, and people started coming in, and then we streamlined it. But yeah, slowly we started learning the whole thing. And if you're like a new business owner and you still haven't figured things out, you will eventually. Yeah. If you want to physically find us, then just Google Zanubia's Kitchen on maps, or we are inside ITR Lane or on the left in the food court called Food Square.
So, right now, where are we?
We are at the Holy
Yup.
for a silent peace walk.
Yep, interesting concept here we are experiencing. After all that walking, it was time for lunch. We got the flavors of Italy in Puri. The pizza was great, along with insightful words from the authors and soulful poems, made the experience warm and memorable.
So basically this hotel was, I think, set up in the 1980s, and it was like a hub for the hippies who were visiting here, the backpackers and everyone. So we have had Allen Ginsberg and Khushwant Singh stay here for a while, and from here the beach used to be quite visible. Now it's not, so that's another thing. I think Tathagat sir is going to come and talk about all those things, so it's going to be really interesting right now because he's a really fun person to listen to.
We then walked to Hotel Z on Chakratirtha Road, Puri. The panel discussion on reading, writing, publishing in a fractured world featured Jerry Pinto, Ravi Singh, Sanjay Kak, and Sampath Patnaik. This was followed by another engaging session on enduring importance and joys of slow living and travel with Swati Murmu, Tathagat Satpathy, Ravi Mantha, and Chandrahas Chaudhary. With the thoughtful questions and insightful answers, the session turned out to be a truly lovely experience. With panel discussion over, we decided to catch Jerry Pinto. With Helen in my hands, I decided to ask for spoilers from the author himself.
Helen naam hi to Christian lagti hai na? It sounds like a Christian name, and she is a Christian. What was a woman like that doing in Bollywood? And why was she in Bollywood? वो क्या कर रही थी उसमें? How is it that she managed to work there for 30 years? Okay, in most Hindi films, the heroes work for 30 years, but the heroines work for 5 years. Then they become mothers, then they become grandmothers. Dadi maa ban jati hai. She was still dancing 30 years later. That was enough. But also because I think in her dance, she represented feminine sexuality. happy feminine sexuality. Ki chalo, there's one of her great songs is Gam chhod ke manao rangareli aur maan lo jo kahe kitty keli. This is as opposed to all those, duniya mein hum aaye hain to jeena hi padega, jeevan hai agar zehar to peena hi padega. Like really? There's also some khushi, some dancing, some jashan, and she was that jashan. When you looked at Helen dancing, you wanted to dance with her. Okay? Have you seen Mungra Mungra Mein Gud Ki Dali? She's in her 40s and she's still hoofing it. She's still dancing. Okay? So I loved all that about her. One of the interesting things about this event is that it breaks the mold and the format of the literary festival. Over the past few hours, we have all been together. We have traveled together. We've experienced things together. We've eaten together. And now we're coming and we're going to be talking about books. This is very different from the other literary festivals where all the authors rush off into the authors' lounge and hide from the writers, from the readers. And there's a kind of distance between the audience and the speakers. This was much more informal, much more interesting, much more lively in that sense.
Walking Bookfairs is an independent bookstore that started back in 2014 as a free traveling library and bookstore. And we have traveled all across Odisha and all across India. And we had a wonderful day full of literary activities and panel discussions. We started from Bhubaneswar on a bus and we stopped at Udayagiri Caves at Dholigiri, and then we had some wonderful food, discussed stories, travel, and then we reached Puri and we had our panel discussions here and we talked about travel writing, literature, slow living, mindful traveling, and all of that. And we hope to return next year with, another round of excellent speakers and another literary adventure.
Walking Bookfest Travel Writing Festival is unique because we are a community for a day which is on the move, and then we are cut off from everybody else in the world. We have to spend time together. And every year we try to bring together a few people from around the country on our limited budget, whatever we can afford, to spend a day or two together thinking about what it means to be a community like this. And personally, as a travel writer, I've always enjoyed the fact that you meet strangers, and from any group, anywhere in the world, out of 20 or 30 people, you'll always find 2 or 3 people whom you want to stay in touch with. And I think this is the meaning of life, to wander and to sift.
It was something I was looking forward to since the day it was launched. And a lot of people don't know here. And this is something candid that I want to share. I am guilty, I have not read a book in my life. I was very ashamed to say that here. But each his own. I love collecting books. I love gifting books. And I love reading a few pages in the front, a few pages at the back. But then I'm someone who likes to read people. So that is my forte, and that is how I kind of go down my lane of, meeting people, making memories, and creating my stories with them.
The main thing is, and you asked me about this festival, the main thing is that what we do might appear to be marginal, and it is marginal, but I believe in the possibilities of the marginal. What we can do from the margin, how we can influence ideas. Like, okay, I don't want to be boastful, but I made a film on Kashmir. I believe it affected public perception. What was it? It was a long documentary on Kashmir which was not shown on any mainstream channel. It's just circulated. Why is it that 20 years later it's still in circulation? So work has to be good. And if doing it in the mainstream is going to take away its power, then you can't do it in the mainstream. You have to do it in the margin. So this festival and festivals like this, they protect the margin.
What's travel writing going to do? It will have to move away from what in the past was, describing a place, however skillfully, beautifully. Travel writing can't now be about that. It has to be about things that are not immediately apparent or visible.
Now the question as to how this happened. So basically I know Akshay And Akshay came across to me and we said, he said, I want to do this, and he was generally it was all getting done. Now I know many Akshay's in my life when I've been crossing so many places. I recently realized, so my father passed away in November beginning. So that ritual time when you have 13, 14 days with you, I took some books home and I wanted to read. I was a voracious reader. Once upon a time, from 4th standard, I know I have read the entire library. I finished all those things. I finished Max Muller Bhavan in Rourkela. I finished Rourkela, Steel Plants Library. I've done everything. I finished everything over there. So I was a voracious reader. I still read very, very fast. But this time, I could not finish 50% of the book also in 13, 14 days. I was mighty ashamed of myself. Because, and this is a fact. So all the time when people are talking about themselves, I am, mulling about myself and saying and trying to find an answer as to what is going to solve my problem. So, okay, so you're talking about new generation, Gen X and Alpha X and all those things. I am thinking about Ranjan. So that's the reason I'm here. That's what propelled me to look at this in this way. And I'm very happy I reached here.
And the session faded into memories, leaving words, thoughts, and moments quietly etched in the hearts. That's the wrap of our walking book fair. We definitely got the books. I got Helen, you got?
I got a book of light.
Book of Light.
And to the end of our journey here on the sea beach behind us.
Stay tuned to Odisha Post Live for more such
such
content.
content.